Hello and welcome to my Christian testimony video. I hope that you enjoy watching it and that you get something out of it, whether that's a laugh at me, a sweet tear, or something deeper. But I wanted to start off and just kind of let you know that this is just my testimony and it is not intended to tell you how your testimony is supposed to go, because God deals with each one of us differently. But I hope that hearing mine is a blessing to you and encourages you, and it's interesting. So I did not grow up in a Christian home. And what I mean by that is I don't think that we owned a Bible. We did not pray. Faith factored zero into our lives, and we didn't go to church, although we moved around a lot. And at different places that I lived, people would they would use their bus ministry to pick me up, or we were invited and I would go occasionally. But when I got to college and I had a religion class, because I thought religion was really interesting, at that point I realized that I was not a Christian, because I did not believe in Jesus Christ. I did not believe the Bible was true. But at that point, I stopped associating myself or identifying myself as a Christian, and embraced the fact that I was an agnostic, which I ended up getting married, and my husband was an atheist, and we had a good life. We're normal Americans and normal people that had just no affiliation, no connection. And if you had asked me, I would have told you that life was really, really good. One thing though, we needed some extra income, and so I signed up in a direct sales company. And I knew at the time that they were biblically based, but I really felt like that had no bearing on my life, because I knew my own mind, and it didn't matter what they did. I would go to training to learn what I was doing with that. And I was introduced to some women that I don't think I ever would have met their class or caliber. But they would talk about God in a way that I had never really heard before. And they would talk about that they were so grateful for what Jesus did for them. And I was thinking, like, well, what's that now? What did he do? And they would talk about, their daily Bible reading, or their, daily devotional, or their prayer time, or that, and I had not been exposed to that before. And so it gave me a lot of questions. And I was interested in attending a church because they also had something. There was something about them that I wanted in my life. And the common denominator was God. And so I thought I would get to know him. But when I thought I would get to know him, I thought that I would learn about him, but not have a connection, because that didn't equate to me. I didn't understand it. So I approached my husband about going to a church, and he is very supportive as a husband. And though an atheist, he wasn't a combative atheist. So that was easy for him to do. And so we decided to start looking around at some churches, and so where we ended up was the place with the latest start time. And it was just a neat place. We went in, felt immediately comfortable, and the pastor did a sermon on circumcision. And I listened to it, and I thought, okay, so it was funny, and it was relevant, and it was interesting. And somehow he took that topic and made me see where it applied in my life. And I thought, okay, so of all the places we go to, this really feels like a place for us. The next week when we went back, the Sunday school that we had chosen was doing a series on how to study our Bible. And which was important to me, because I did not believe the Bible was true. and I had a friend that gave in that morning in the main church service, the main auditorium. They started a series on why the Bible is true. Second part of that is I didn't believe the Bible is true. And at that point, So that morning in the main auditorium, they had started a series on why the Bible is true. And I needed that because I did not believe in the truth of the Bible. And really, without that, nothing else matters. And during the service, a gentleman got up and he did a little intro for the series that they were going to be starting that evening. And it was going to be like a 4 or 5 day conference. And the amount of knowledge this man had about the Bible was just unbelievable. I mean, I believe that the pastor has a ton of knowledge, but this guy just rattled stuff off, and he would he would say something and then he would, quote the verse in or the chapter and verse. And my husband and I, we were going to come back to Sunday service anyway, but to just be completely honest about it, I wanted to write down everything he said and then look it up, kind of fact check him, because I had heard from all of my unchurched friends that the Bible had holes in it, and it did not. It was just riddled with holes and inconsistencies, and I was really excited that I could fact check him and I could find him in those flaws. I mean, it's not like I was going to tell the church about it or anything, but just for my own knowledge, just so that I could be superior. That was a little something about me. But we came back to the service that night, and we wrote down like everything that he said. And then we went home, and my husband went online and he was looking up some stuff. And then I had the Bible my friend had given me, and I was looking up some other things. And then after we would look that up, then we would talk about it for about an hour or so every night. And so this happened every night of the conference. And I remember on the third day of the conference, after, I'm so sorry, my eye hurt. On the third day of the conference, after we had been studying and we'd gotten home from it, and I had been cross-referencing everything, and I was looking, and I just couldn't imagine how one man or a group of men could have written the Bible, because kind of like that's what I thought, was that, if God didn't write the Bible, then man did, and that it was a really nice way to kind of give a code of morality to people. And that's kind of what I had thought about it. And so as I'm studying it and I'm reading it and I'm cross-referencing all of the verses that he said, I could not believe how this book that I thought didn't hold water instead was so intricately woven in ways that I could not imagine any man with a lifetime solely devoted to it could be this consistent. And I remember I was looking down at the Bible, and I had that, well, if a man or a group of men, if men did not write it, then who did? And in that, I like to say that I decided I would not make a decision. But in that moment, I knew God had written the Bible, and that if God wrote it, what did that mean? And so that's kind of where my mind shut down that night, was I couldn't go any further, because I knew that there was a choice in front of me, and I did not want to make it. But I had said that to my husband, and I had said, I am trying to find all of these holes. And I'm sorry, I'm fidgeting because it's just, I'm trying not to be emotional. I had looked at my husband, and I had said, I'm not finding any of these holes. And he looked back at me and he said, I'm really not either. And we kind of had that long, like, eye moment. And then we looked away and we just went on. But my heart at that point, I decided that I would like to be saved. And I didn't understand the Jesus thing. And I felt like that was okay. I didn't need to believe in Jesus to be able to get saved. And so they had mentioned this prayer that we could pray, and then that would get us saved. And so I decided I would pray this prayer, and it didn't work. And I didn't understand, like, I said the right words. How can that not work? And I had become quite frustrated because I had decided that I was going to get saved. And I'm even remembering is like, it stresses me out. So there I was trying to pray myself into salvation, which I will tell you why that it didn't work. I didn't see myself as a sinner. I wanted to say that because, like, when I say that I would pray the prayer and it didn't work, I needed you to know why. I didn't in my heart believe those things that are the basis for salvation, is that I am somebody who needs saving. Didn't believe that. I just wanted to know God, and I wanted to have that relationship. But the last day of the conference, they were doing they were wrapping everything up, and I had been, for like a day and a half, I'd been like this constant mantra in my mind of, I want to get saved. I want to get saved. I want to get saved. Okay. Oh, it didn't work. Okay. So I'll say it again. And I was so frustrated. I was crying, and I was feeling very defeated. And I was kind of feeling like that maybe God didn't want me, and I'll just claim it, because that's the emotion that I was going through. Is I didn't understand if I was saying this and it wasn't happening. Maybe that just meant that God chose not to have me. And so that last night, I felt like, this is it. This is my last chance. I mean, it wasn't going to be, but you have these moments like these define me. And so I was just, I had my eyes closed and I was praying, and I was just kind of like, you know what, God, I can't do this. I have been trying to get saved for days, and it hasn't happened. And I don't understand that I'm a sinner, but if you say I am, then I am. And I don't understand how Jesus can be the Son of God. Like, scientifically, I can't get that to mesh. But, if you say he is, then I guess that makes it true, because if you say it, I'm sorry. And I was in my frustration. I was telling him, I can't do this. God, I have tried on my own to get to you, and I can't do it. And that if you want me, God, you're just going to have to come claim me. And I'm smiling now, but at the time, it wasn't smiles. It was heaving sobs, because I felt so broken. And I felt like that even God didn't want me. And I was just, what did I have to lose by just calling out and just telling him, this is where I'm at, God. And I was really frustrated. I mean, I keep saying that, like, that I could not do it. I've done everything else on my own my whole life. Why couldn't I do this? And so when I said, God, if you want me, you're just going to have to come claim me, because I can't get to you. And in that moment, in that very moment, I felt that he claimed me. I don't even know how to explain that feeling that I got, but it rolled through me. And I opened my eyes, because it was just like, and I it was more like in shock. I opened my eyes, and I can't even explain how I saw Jesus standing in front of me in that moment is real to me as the pew or the person, the back of their head in front of me, but I didn't see them. I saw Jesus, and he had his arm out, and I knew that he had claimed me, and I didn't understand. I didn't understand any of it, and I didn't understand why that time it worked, and every other time it didn't. But I knew without a doubt that I had been claimed, and that I was now a child of God. And it was a good day. But on the way home, I was a little nervous to tell my husband because we had kind of made this agreement when we were getting married that we would only stay together as long as it was convenient for us. But when people change and they become different people, like, you can't expect for people to stay together. And so, as long as we were the same people, our marriage was valid. But if we changed or found God or something, then we could get a divorce. I mean, we specifically said that. And so I was really nervous to tell my husband on the way home that day that I had gotten saved. But when I thought, maybe I just won't tell him, I heard a voice, you can't deny Christ. It was immediate to me that I knew I couldn't deny that. And so in all the fear that I had that he would say that we were done, I told him that I had gotten saved. And what I said was, I think, well, no, I know that I got saved tonight. And my husband said, well, good. I know that's what you wanted. I'm happy for you. And I was like, so are we good? And he said we were. And so that was awesome. But I was married to a man who did not believe in God. And so I prayed for him, and he has his own testimony. But suffice it to say that 10 days later, God also claimed my husband. And so he not only saved me, he saved my husband at the same time so that we were able to do this together. I'm so grateful because I understand now that I was part of a miracle. And that's what I needed. In my heart, I needed to know. I needed some physical, tangible thing. And when I told God, I can't do this, that is exactly what he was waiting on. Because what I know about him now is that he wants me to know that he's taking care of me and that he will provide for me. And that's why that time I was saved, is because in that moment I trusted God with my heart and with my soul. I didn't understand what I was doing, but I did it, and that's what it took. And I've known since that moment that he claimed me, and there is no better gift that I can wish for anybody else in the entire world than to have that feeling. And sorry it was a two-parter. I didn't anticipate that when I started my testimony, but I hope that it was a blessing to you. And God did not finish with me at that point. And I can't wait to tell you the next part of the story. It'll be in a different video on another day because this one is kind of wiped me out. But I pray that I get to speak to you in person and that I get to tell you about how great God is. And if you have any questions, I don't know all the answers, but I would love to help you with what I do know or how to find the answers for yourself. So thank you. I hope it was a blessing to you.